A very good morning. I am Dr. Tabassum Ahmed, Assistant Professor in the Department of Management, Gurugram University, and I am honored to be here to deliver this session. So today's session is going to be on motivation and theories of motivation. So in this session, we shall be covering the objectives and meaning and definition of motivation, the process of motivation, nature and characteristics of motivation, types of motivation, importance of motivation, and motivational theories. So in theories of motivation, there are two types of theories which we will come across later in the session. These are process theories and content theories. And in this session, which I think is the first series of my two series lectures. So in this first session, I shall be covering only the content series, and that too based on the time, whatever time allows us. So we shall be discussing content theories. There are about 4 content theories primarily. So let us proceed forward. So what is motivation? So first things first, do we all agree that to be successful, it is truly important to be motivated? The answer at most of the times is going to be yes. Yes, only a truly motivated person is successful in their lives. Even if they are not successful initially, but if they are truly motivated in their lives, they will succeed one day or the other. So what does motivation mean? So motivation is a process that starts with a need. It starts with a deficiency. And a motivated person is driven towards fulfilling that need or fulfilling that deficiency. So this essentially is motivation. Motivation is nothing but it is an internal urge that gives you that trigger to work towards achieving certain goals in your life. So what are the key elements of motivation? The key elements of motivation are direction, intensity, and persistence. So what is direction? Motivation, we will further discuss. It is under the characteristics and nature of motivation, that motivation is a goal-directed behavior. So there is always a goal that you want to achieve. If our motivated person wants to achieve a goal in their life. So there is direction firstly. So the 3 elements, key elements of motivation: direction, intensity, and persistence. So direction is the goal, the aim in your life. Intensity is the level of effort that you put in to achieve that goal. And persistence is doing something again and again over the period of time. So persistence is putting in efforts with the same intensity towards the direction again and again until you achieve the aims in your life, until you achieve the goal of your life. So let us discuss a small example. All of us have heard of this story of a thirsty crow. So it's a fable, one of my favorite childhood stories. So what does the thirsty crow does? So first of all, let me tell you, it's not just a kid's story. It is a motivational story. It is a whole concept in itself, which talks about the key elements of motivation. So the thirsty crow, there's this crow who felt thirsty, and then he comes across a pot of water. He realizes that there is water, but it is at a certain level which is not accessible to him through his beak. Now this crow needs water. There is a deficiency of water, and which is why he searches, what can I do to go and have that water, to go and drink that water. So what does he do? He has the direction. He clearly knows that I want to have water from this particular pot. So direction is clear. Second thing, intensity. He goes, picks up a stone. Now he could have done anything else. He could have just flown to some other area and looked for water elsewhere. But no, he had this direction and he had the intensity. He had to pick up pebbles. Just understand, to pick up stones by beak for a crow, how difficult it would have been. But his intensity and direction are clear. He picks up the stones, no matter if it is going to hurt his beak, no matter if it is going to hurt him eventually, but he picks up the stones and put it in the pot of water. And the water rises a little. But in the first throw of the stone, the water is not there for him to drink. So there comes persistence, which is the third element. So he goes again, picks up another pebble and then puts it in the pot, then goes again and picks up another. So then look at this, the persistence of the efforts. probably had to go 100 number of times to pick up 100 number of pebbles so that the water could be at a level where he could access it through its beak. But as we all know, the story has a happy ending, that the thirsty crow was able to quench the thirst because of the motivation level he had. It had a very high level of motivation, and all the three key elements of motivation have been covered in this story. So this is intensity, direction and persistence. Now, what is the process of motivation? Process of motivation starts with a need, as we discussed in the story. Now, I would request all of you to relate the crow's story with the process of motivation. The motivation process starts with a need or a deficiency. Once a person realizes that there is a need of something, it creates a certain level of tension. So this tension gives you stress that, okay, I do not have this, and probably I need a particular thing so that this void, this need, this deficiency is fulfilled. So now there is a search behavior. Search behavior gives you several options. If, for example, if there is a person who is in need of money. So there is a person who is in need of money. The process of motivation will start with this deficiency of money. It will create tension because there is a stress. I don't have money, that is why I don't have several other things. Now the search behavior will tell you what are the ways in which you can fulfill your need. So for him, for the needy person who needs money, the search behavior would be, I can start working, doing a job, or I can put up a business, or I can borrow it from a friend. So the third option is perhaps the most, I'd say, one to be avoided. But yes, it is an example, so let's just take it. So the search behavior will give you several options, several courses of actions which you can take to fulfill the need. And then next part in the process of motivation is performance. Once you know which path to go to, you perform towards achievement of your goals. And once you are performing, and when you are performing, that means you have direction, intensity and persistence, then there is a reward. And this reward is nothing but the fulfillment of your needs. Now, there is one more thing to pay attention to, that once this need is satisfied, this need satisfaction gives rise to the next order needs. So which is why when we discuss the nature and characteristics of motivation, we will also discuss that motivation is a continuous process because one satisfied need leads us to another need. So that is what actually happens when a person is truly motivated. A motivated person doesn't stop by just one achievement. They just keep on doing other things to achieve more in their lives. So coming back to the example, the needy person who was in need of money, the need, so the deficiency is money, tension, because there are several things which I'm not able to do because I don't have enough money. Search behavior, I can either do a job or I can put up a business or I can borrow it from friends and family. Performance. So if you decide here, if you decide to put up take up a job, you will read the newspapers, you'll come across the interviews, you'll go prepare for the interviews and probably crack the interview. If you want to put up a business, then you'll look forward to the opportunities in the market. You'll do the SWOT analysis, the strengths, weakness, opportunities and threats analysis. And then you'll probably pick up the investors who would be interested in investing for your business and you'll put up your business. And the third option, borrowing it from friends and family, you'll figure out who can actually borrow you. If you haven't already borrowed from them in the past, there are chances that they might just lend you some money. So after the whatever course of action you take, you perform towards that course of action, and in reward what you get? Ultimately, if you choose the path of a job, you will in reward get salary. If you choose business, you will in reward get profits. And if you choose to borrow, of course, the money is always going to be there if you have good relatives and friends. So this is the process of motivation. Needs are there, tension. Then this tension gives rise to search behavior. The search behavior gives rise to performance, and the performance ultimately gives you rewards. And once you achieve one type of goal, then you move towards the satisfaction of other level of needs. Now let us come to the nature and characteristics of the process of motivation or the concept of motivation. What are the nature and characteristics of motivation in itself? So first things first, motivation is based on motives. Yes, like we said, there is a need. So the fulfillment of need is the motive. If there is no motive, there is no motivation at all. So secondly, it's a goal-oriented process. It's a goal-directed behavior. Once you know that there is a goal, you behave, which is you perform towards achievement of this goal. So this is a goal-directed behavior. It's a psychological aspect. Of course, it's not a physical thing. It is not a tangible product that you can touch and buy and sell in the market. See, we cannot go to a store or a shop and tell them to give us, okay, you know what, I am not able to go to the gym because of a very cold winter morning. Give me 2 kg of motivation. You cannot do that, right? So it is a psychological aspect, and it comes from the needs that you want to fulfill in your life. Then, motivation is always related to satisfaction. When you achieve your goals, when you reach the peak which you have decided for yourself, then it gives you satisfaction, and it is only that satisfaction which keeps you going. So of course it is related to satisfaction. Then, as we discussed in the process of motivation, that motivation is a continuous process. The fulfillment of one need gives rise to another level of need. So hence it's a continuous process. A truly motivated person does not stop by just achieving one milestone. They always keep going towards the next one. Then it is an integrated process, which means you have to have an objective, you have to have a direction, you have to have your intensity, you have to be able to make efforts. So it's an integrated system, it's an integrated process. If you do not have goal and you are putting in efforts, it is not going to take you anywhere. There has to be a goal, there has to be a direction, there has to be intensity of these efforts, and also the persistence level. Let us take a very small example here to elaborate this thing that motivation is an integrated process. You know, it is just one thing to say it and another to understand. So to say that it's an integrated process, yes, you might have heard of it already. But to explain, there's a very simple example. Let us say there is this person who is preparing who wants to be an IAS officer. So to be an IAS officer, he has to crack the UPSC exam. So the direction is there that I want to be an IAS officer. But intensity, he thinks that okay, I'll just study 2 hours a day and I'll crack the IAS exam. Not going to happen. It is definitely not going to happen. And let us say that he says, okay, I have the direction, I want to be an IAS officer. I will study 12 hours a day. But the persistence level is not there. He fails in his first attempt. And he says, okay, that is it. I'm not going to do it again. I did a lot already. So here, if the persistence is not there, then also the goal, the need is not going to be satisfied. Hence, the process of motivation or the concept of motivation is an integrated process. And lastly, under the nature and characteristics of motivation, motivation is complex and a dynamic process. So why dynamic? Because dynamic is something that keeps on changing. So dynamic because as we told you, it's a continuous process. On satisfaction of one level of needs, I will switch to another type of need. So which means what motivates me today might not motivate me tomorrow. There might be something else that motivates me another day. So it is a dynamic process. It's a complex process. Why? Because it's a psychological concept. Every individual is different. So what drives me might not drive you. So the motivator for every person is different. So hence, motivation is a complex and dynamic process. So far under the nature and characteristics of motivation, we have discussed that motivation is based on motives. It is a goal-directed behavior. It's a psychological aspect. It's related to satisfaction. It is a continuous process. It is an integrated process, and it's a complex and dynamic process. Now, there are several types of motivation. So, broadly, based on nature, motivation is intrinsic or extrinsic. Based on rewards that you get, motivation may be financial or non-financial. And based on approach, motivation might be negative or positive. So, firstly, intrinsic and extrinsic. So, intrinsic motivation is something that comes from within and that gives the person who is motivated a sense of happiness, a sense of contentment, a sense of satisfaction, and it is not driven by external things, external materialistic things. So this is intrinsic motivation. Whereas extrinsic motivation comes from the external factors, the external tangible rewards that you are going to get. For example, there is a student in the 12th standard, and the parents, they tell him that, listen, if you get 80% marks in your 12th standard exams, then we are going to give you a bike. So that is an extrinsic motivation, right? So the student, he works hard to get about 80% marks in his 12th board exams. Why? Because he wants the bike. So there is an external factor that motivates this student. Whereas there is another student, again a 12th class student, who is appearing for his boards, and he says that no, I want to top the CBSE board exams. Why? Because it is going to give me another level of happiness. It is going to give me a sense of achievement. So that is intrinsic motivation. So based on nature, there is intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Now based on rewards, there is financial and non-financial motivation. So for example, in organizations, what we usually do is, if you have gone to sales stores, shopping marts, so the salespersons, the sales team, they know that if they crack a certain level of sales, then they will get some financial incentives in return. So that is financial motivation, when people get motivated because of financial giveaways that they want. So that is financial motivation. Whereas non-financial motivation is when you go to a store, you might have seen a board somewhere on which there is the title of Best Employee of the Month. So that is non-financial motivation. In non-financial motivation, people get motivated not because of the financial rewards that they are going to get, but because of the recognition that they are going to receive for the work that they do, for achieving the targets for the organization. So that is financial and non-financial type of motivation. Now coming to based on approach, there is negative motivation and positive motivation. So let us take an example which will clarify it further. In an organization, for example, in a university, if the students are told that if you do not come on time to my class, then I will not mark your attendance. So that is the professor telling the students, if you don't come on time, I won't mark the attendance. So the students, they get motivated to reach the class on time. So that is negative motivation, which means there is a fear or something of losing something or of getting a punishment. So that is a negative motivation. Whereas positive motivation, if the students, they come on time, they will be given a 5-star or a chocolate or any kind of chocolate. So that is a positive motivation. Again, the students are motivated to reach the class on time, but because of the positive thing that they are going to get on fulfilling that particular target. So types of motivation based on 3 different categories: intrinsic and extrinsic, financial and non-financial, negative and positive motivation. Now, importance of motivation on organization's performance. Yes, motivation is very, very important. There has been a thesis on this, especially after the human relations era. In 1930, there was human relations era, in which the studies conducted found out that it's not just the physiological factors that affect an employee's performance in an organization, but there are several other factors as well. So in quest of those several other factors, a behavioral theory also came up. And motivation, or let us say the concept of motivation for organizations as such, came to the fore after the advent of the behavioral theory. So according to the behavioral theory, the potential performance of an employee is the product of ability, knowledge and motivation of the employee. And an organization's performance or organizational results are a product of employees' performance, resources and opportunities. So clearly, if you look at the equation, the organization's results are directly proportional to the level of motivation of an employee. So this was all about the concept of motivation. So we have understood the meaning of motivation. We have understood the process of motivation. We have gone through the types of motivation and also the importance of motivation not just for an organization but also for the employees. So next part is the theories of motivation. As I discussed in the very beginning also, there are two types of theories of motivation. One is content theories of motivation and the other one is the process theories of motivation. So the content theories of motivation focus on the what, as in what motivates people. The content theory assumes that people have a set of needs which they pursue. So what drives them is a set of needs. Whereas the process theories focus on how. So the process theories assume that people select their goals and choose how to get to them by a calculated process. So that is the content theories and the process theories. So as I discussed, we shall be covering the content theories, and in this session I think I'll be only covering the first content theory, and I'll try to record the other content theories and the process theories also in the next session. So the first content theory was given by Abraham Maslow in the year 1943. So Abraham Maslow's theory was called the theory of need hierarchy, or Maslow's need hierarchy theory. Abraham Maslow in 1943 in a paper, The Motivation Theory, wrote about the concept of motivation and the way people categorize their needs in their lives. So it's a content theory, which means it focuses on what. So the content theories, they focus on what. So what motivates people? Abraham Maslow said that it is several needs in their lives which motivates people to perform certain things in their lives. So the first and the foremost need of any person is food, water, shelter, sleep and air. And these needs were given the name of physiological needs in Maslow's pyramid. So Maslow gave a pyramid of 5 levels of needs: physiological needs, safety needs, love and belongingness needs, esteem needs and self-actualization needs. So the first level of Maslow's need hierarchy theory in Maslow's pyramid is physiological needs, which is simply the need for food, the need for water, the need for air, the need for sleep, the need for shelter. The second need, according to Maslow's pyramid, is the safety needs. So the safety needs are basically security needs, the law and order needs. Once your first order of needs, the physiological needs, are satisfied, then you move to the second order of needs, and the second order of needs are safety and security needs, where you want security, where you want health facilities, where you want medical insurances, where you want law and order to protect you. So these are safety and security needs. Now physiological needs and safety needs together, they form the lower order needs. So in Maslow's need hierarchy theory, the lower order needs are physiological needs and safety needs. Coming up on the ladder or on the pyramid, the third level of needs is love and belongingness. So once a person has the basic needs satisfied, then this person has job security, has insurance, has law and order to protect him. The third order of needs are love and belongingness needs, where the person wants companionship, the person wants relationships, the person wants to be loved, they want friends, they want families, they want relatives. So these needs are the love and belongingness needs. So the fourth order of needs then are esteem needs. Esteem needs are where the person wants recognition, not only in front of people but also for himself. So the esteem needs are self-respect needs, the recognition needs. Esteem needs are also further divided into two types: internal esteem and external esteem. So internal esteem needs are the respect, the self-respect, the self-confidence, the self-faith that you want from yourself. Whereas external esteem needs is the respect and recognition that you want from your family, your friends, your peer groups, from your bosses, from your social circles. So these are the external esteem needs. Finally, the last and the topmost in the pyramid of Maslow's need hierarchy theory is self-actualization needs. Now these self-actualization needs are the highest order needs, and these are also called as self-fulfillment needs. And these needs include the need for creativity, The reward that you want on fulfillment of self-actualization needs is nothing at all. It's just pure satisfaction that you want out of these needs. There is no monetary, there is no tangible, there is no material reward attached to the fulfillment of these needs. So, 5 needs according to the Maslow's need hierarchy theory are physiological needs, safety needs, then love and belongingness needs, esteem needs, and self-actualization needs. So, these are the 5 needs. So, from the last bottom 2 needs, the physiological and safety needs, these are the lower order needs, whereas the love, belongingness, esteem, and self-actualization, these are the higher order needs. Similarly, safety and physiological needs are also referred to as basic needs, whereas love and belongingness and esteem needs are also referred to as psychological needs, and self-actualization is called as self-fulfillment needs. So this is about Maslow's theory of motivation, which was the first content theory. Next content theory is Herzberg's 2-factor theory, which we shall be covering in our next session. So that was all about motivation and theories of motivation, which we haven't covered completely. We just have covered content theory, and that too just the Maslow's need hierarchy theory. So, but because of the time constraint, I would like to wind up this session here. I will continue with the rest of the part in second session in the same series. So, thank you so much, and the session is open for any kind of questions or feedback if there is, and that will be it. Thank you.